Hello and welcome to my Fairytale Build Series. So this is going to be a 3-part series. So I have a short story that I've written and I'm going to divide it up into 3 different chapters, and with each chapter of the story it's also going to be associated with a build that I did. So here is chapter 1 and its build. Enjoy. Once upon a time, in New England, there lived a couple who gave birth to a baby girl. They named her Sandra. This couple was no ordinary couple. They had problems, lots of problems. It's not worth mentioning what they were, but when the going got rough and Sandra started having what they deemed magical episodes, it became too much for the couple. Their internal problems, left unresolved, were so much so that they could not care and love for Sandra. Sad, I know. But I promise the story ends with a happily ever after. It's a fairy tale after all. One day at the town bar, the couple caught a whisper that a strange woman had purchased the old castle ruins property in town. The property was a pile of old castle ruins from the early 20th century. The strange woman, who supposedly had plans to restore the property, was rumored to be a witch. How perfect, the couple thought. Months later, in the dead of morning, 3:30, the couple walked to the restored property and made the most difficult decision of their lives. Unknowingly, they were giving Sandra a worse situation than the one she was in. The witch was a wicked witch with wicked intentions. For years, the wicked witch tormented and teased poor Sandra. When Sandra passed the brink of tears, the wicked witch would pull out a glass vial and collect her tears. A wicked thing for a wicked potion. On one hot summer night in August, the witch came into Sandra's bedroom and unleashed her usual verbal onslaught. But on this day, Sandra simply did not cry. After years of pain, she had finally become numb. This angered the witch, who then let out the most loud and most cruel combinations of words Sandra had ever heard. But it was to no avail. It appears our normal method has been rendered useless. I'll be back tomorrow, where we'll resort to more physical means, said the witch. The door slammed shut. Sandra knew that it was time to escape. But there was one problem. The witch had conjured an invisible force field around the property. It was how she kept Sandra there for so long. Sandra had tried escaping many times before, but there was no way of getting through. Over years of captivity, Sandra had managed to hide her own magical powers from the witch. But doing so came at the expense of only being able to cast a few basic spells. She knew of no way to break the force field. And that's when she heard several taps on her window. To Sandra's delight, it was a friendly-looking, teeny-tiny bearded man with a red cap. I'll add that he was an adorable, yet painfully formal, old gnome. Not knowing what to expect, Sandra slowly opened the window. Hello, who are you? Hello, I'm from the YWWPP, or YWWPP, also known as the Young Witches and Wizards Protection Program. We're a group tasked with preserving the well-being of young witches and wizards. We caught wind of your situation and have been monitoring it for the past week. Tonight, whilst eavesdropping, we found you are in danger. We've been working day in and day out to try and break the force field around this property, but unfortunately we haven't figured out a way yet. Given the fact that your safety is at risk, we are commencing Plan B. He handed her a small scroll. Inside, you will find a spell. You can use it to break both the force field and fake your own death. If both are accomplished, you should find yourself in a much better situation. Best of luck. Before Sandra could even ask questions, the gnome was gone, leaving her frazzled. But for the first time in a long time, she felt hope. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chapter 1 of my Fairytale series. So, The Sims came out with an expansion pack called Cottage Living, and it is absolutely magical. The aesthetic behind it is just so beautiful, and it is easily one of my favorite, if not my favorite packs they've ever come out with. So yeah, it's basically like lots of cottage items. There's like little cottage roofs and windows and doors and like siding for the houses, so you can make like little cottages, and it's so cute. And the world that it is set in is called Henford-on-Bagley, and it's like this, English countryside. It's actually where this house is being built right now, and it's just really pretty, like lots of grass and big fields, and the pack was just so inspiring to me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a fairy tale series. So the idea of writing a short story came to me when I finished the 3 fairy tale houses, and I was like, it'd be really cool if I could connect all of these houses together and have some sort of like interwoven story between the 3 builds that I did. After looking at the 3 builds, I was, looking around and kind of thinking like what could happen, and I just got creative, and I ended up, figuring out how the 3 builds could be connected, and ended up writing a short story. So I broke the short story into 3 parts for the 3 builds, and each one has some sort of like, story or connection to the build. And you just heard the first chapter of the story where you met young Sandra. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for Sandra. I didn't realize like how dark the story got. I didn't plan for it to be dark. It kind of just went there. Yeah, so Sandra is in a really bad spot, but fortunately, there is something called the Young Witches and Wizards Protection Program, and that is what this build is about. So in the story, you see the gnome end up knocking on Sandra's window and tells her, like, hey, we've been watching your situation. We've been trying to break that force field that the witch has around the property to keep you in, but we can't figure it out. But what they do have is a spell. So it's kind of, it's plan B. They would rather just break the force field themselves and let Sandra run out of there, but they just haven't figured it out. So they saw that she was in danger, and they gave her this spell. So the idea is with the spell to have Sandra break the force field, but also fake her own death. And you'll kind of see like how that plays out in chapter 2. Yeah, so this is the YWWPP, or the Young Witches and Wizards Protection Program headquarters. So this is where the gnomes live. This is their headquarters, and this is where all the operations go down. And yeah, this is the place where they like keep tabs on all the witches and wizards out there, make sure they're safe. Yeah, so looking at the build, my intentions behind this one was just to kind of have it be like an old rundown building that the gnomes converted into their headquarters. It's kind of like, it's run down and it's like very swampy and overgrown, but it has like a really beautiful flair of magic to it, which I love. The items in the cottage living pack are just so pretty. Like there's that tree right there, like that little archway. It's just really, really pretty stuff, and it really allows you to make some really cool creations. So another thing that I'm thinking for this build is connecting each build to a song from Taylor Swift's Folklore album, because I think that album would be like the perfect soundtrack for this story. It's just, it's folk music. It's very like cottage-esque. So I'm probably gonna like end up picking like a song to tie this build to as well. So I don't know, I had a lot of fun with this one. I've been working on this series for like probably like 3 months now, so I put like a lot of like love and attention to detail into it, and it's just really fun that way. Like I've really enjoyed just kind of taking it slow and like really being thoughtful, and the whole idea of doing a short story around it is really fun. I really am enjoying this. It's just so much fun to me. It's a wonderful creative outlet. Another thing I really love about this pack is all the like ivy and vines that they give you. Like, see that stuff right there? Like, it's just like so pretty, and it just adds like a storybook feel to it, and I just love it so much. Alright, the speed build is just about over. Let's dive on into the actual build. Okay, so here is the finished product. I'll do a little panel like I always do, just to give you a nice glimpse of the place. So yeah, it's very much, you know, it's like a little swamp in the countryside. You know, there's beautiful rolling hills. You know, it's right by a river. It's just a very pretty setting. So let's dive on into it. So I thought this was like pretty creative. The entrance to get in, you just have to walk through a hollowed out tree, which I thought was really fun and really exciting. So yeah, as you know, this is the YWWPP headquarters, and there are gnomes everywhere. So there's one gnome over here, and these are all the gnomes that protect the witches and wizards, and you'll see them throughout the build. So here's the entrance. I love the entranceway. I think it's just like very like overgrown. Lots of pretty details. I love the mushrooms. You know, the column coming out of the tree stump here, using an actual tree instead of a column, which I thought was really fun. And I just loved like the droopiness of the build, like the droopiness of the trees, lots of vines and like hanging things, and it has like a very like look to it. So we'll do like an outside tour. So here's like a little, just like a little sitting area. You can sit here and watch the creek. There's like a little swimming creek over here. Lots of like logs and stuff here. There's a little boat, so you can kind of take a boat ride around the property. Bird bath area. I thought this was fun. I just put like a old bicycle that's just kind of been abandoned in the river. This is like the backyard area. Some more mushrooms, a very pretty tree. This guy right here, this is the gnome from the story. He's the one that went to talk to Sandra and gave her the spell. Oh, look, a bunny. How cute. I didn't put that there. But yeah, he's the guy. I feel like his name is Willie. That's just my gut feeling is that he's Willie, the gnome. So yeah, we got like an old, like abandoned dock here that's kind of falling apart. I love these lights. I put them throughout the build. I thought they were very swampy and bog-like. This tree I really liked. I thought that was cool. It gives some like some curvature to the build. You can go under it on the boat. We got a little fireplace area here, so you can just sit around and enjoy the fire. Another gnome dude there. Now this tree here is a special tree. This is how the gnome managed to get into the property where Sandra is, the witch's property. This door, I imagine, is like a a portal to wherever. Like they can use the tree to teleport, and the gnome goes through here. And in the next video, chapter 2, the build and the story will take place on the witch's property where Sandra's kept. So you'll see that in the next video. But there's a tree just like this one on that property with, it's the same one with a door. So I imagine like he used this tree to teleport to the property and comes out through the tree on that property. So you'll see this tree. I'll point it out in the next video. Another gnome dude here, a bear gnome. And yeah, so this build has little outside areas here. So here we got a little sanctuary. I thought this was fun. A little meditation zone for the gnomes. It's just like a really peaceful, secluded little garden area. A little trickling fountain here. Lots of fun. Here's a little sunbathing area, just to lounge and sit, taking the view of the countryside. And then here's another sitting area, place to do laundry. Another gnome dude there. And then up top here we have a little creative area. So they can do some artwork over here. There's a Grim Reaper gnome. Plant some flowers. A little bird shelter here. Flock of wild birds. There's a bird right there. How cute! And then you take the ladders down. Here's a gnome riding a chicken. This is one of my favorites. My favorite like features of this build is the, I guess you call it like a sun deck. You can just lay out here on the towel, you know, read, have a picnic or whatever. This is a little rabbit home. Another gnome dude here. But so the fun part about this is that this old tree here is actually like a diving board. So they can like walk on it and then jump into the little swimming creek area. I just picture like all the gnomes just jumping off here, having a good time. Oh, there's another one. He's the defector of the group. He's stealing their money and running. So that's the outside. Lots of trees, of course. And the inside is just very like run down because it's just like an old like abandoned building that the gnomes took over and made their headquarters. So it's very overgrown. This is like a little kitchen area. Got a fridge over here. A bed. Another like overgrown area with some crates and stuff. So inside's not too pretty. Got some money over here. No money. That's their vault. Here I put a little cat. I feel like they just have like a little cat that they are friends with, and that's where he sleeps and sits at his little room. Nothing too special here, just some more crates and storage. So yeah, that is the build. This one was like so much fun to make. I've had this like vision of this like swamp in my head for a while, and I just really wanted to build it, and that's what I came up with. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little different with a little short story. And stay tuned for chapter 2 and chapter 3. Is Sandra gonna get out? What's gonna happen to her? What's gonna happen to the witch? What's gonna happen with the gnomes? I know, but you don't know. So stay tuned. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.